everyone, this is my video diary for week 3 of the Royal Parks half marathon that I'm doing in October. Just a recap of the training that I've done over this week. I've set a few PBs which I'm quite proud of, so I'll go over those in a second. I just wanted to start this video diary by saying how inspired I've been from some Instagrammers that I follow who completed Race to the Stones this weekend. They've inspired me so much. I already had set myself the goal that I would try and achieve walking 100k ultra challenge next year, and Chris wants to do it too. We were a bit undecided on when and where we were going to do it, but we kind of know that we would really love to do one. But after watching them do this weekend, it's just reinforced that really, how much of an achievement they've all made by completing it. They set out to run it with some walking, obviously, because that's a long old way. I'm not sure I'd be able to do that, but I certainly do want to give it a go at walking it. They stopped overnight and did it over 2 days, but some people I followed did it in 1 day, and honestly, how they kept going for all those hours I do not know. But yeah, it's certainly inspired me to want to try it. So it's kind of started my day off on a bit of a, wow, my achievements don't seem quite so great, but hopefully mine can inspire some of you out there to achieve things if you're new to running and only just starting out trying to achieve your goals. I've done a couple of half marathons, not very many and not very fast, but I know I need to step it up and set myself a new goal. I've never really wanted to do or to run a marathon, but I don't know, slowly that inkling's starting to change. I always put myself in for the ballot and then never quite want to go through with it. I'm just not sure I could keep on running that far. But anyway, let's get back to inspiring you, hopefully, with some of what I've been up to this week. So I started Tuesday with a 3.1 mile run. My pace was about 9 minutes 34 and I did it in 29 minutes 48 seconds. I felt quite good on this day. It was an enjoyable run. The weather's cooled down quite a bit, hasn't it, this week? So that helped. It still takes me 1 to 2 miles to like settle into a run. I find my legs are really heavy before that, but this time my mind was in the right place, so I think that helped to make me enjoy it a little bit better. I didn't set out to try and achieve anything on this particular day. This was just meant to be a warm-up of my legs for the week. After this run, I mentioned last week I was going to try some strength training exercise from a plan that I found on bodybuilding.com. I must admit I found the plan a little bit hard to follow, probably because there was no video of how to do some of the exercises, so I'm not really convinced I was doing it right. And I didn't go into it well prepared, so actually I didn't go into detail about reading how to do the exercises. I just assumed and did the basic. So for instance, one of them was Russian twist. Well, I just did the basic, but I didn't actually read that I needed to do it in a slight varying way to help, obviously, with my posture. So since completing that and realising that I'd done some of them wrong, I've invested in a Swiss ball because a lot of the exercises were to be done on that. I guess because it helps you to build your core muscles a lot better and it hopefully should help me with my posture when I'm running, because I know I am a bit sloppy with my posture. Even sitting here now, I'm doing it. I never sit up straight, I always slouch. So yeah, one tip from me: if you're going to do a strength training routine that you pick up online, make sure you fully read it. Even if you think you know what you're doing, you won't necessarily know what you're doing, and it probably had very little effect on actually helping me do anything, but we'll see. This week will be different. Part of this routine was to do some pull-ups. I haven't done any pull-ups for ages. I set myself a challenge back in March, I think it was, to try and do 2 unassisted pull-ups. I never really did achieve it, and to be honest, I got a little bit bored because it just wasn't an achievable goal. I underestimated how long it would take me to actually be able to do that, and then I just got bored. So another top tip, guys: set achievable goals in smaller little portions. So now that these are factored into my exercise plan. I'll be practicing them a lot more, but I'm not going to set any unrealistic goals that I'm going to be able to do 2 by the end of the month unassisted, because I've proved that just won't happen. So then on Wednesday I did 5 miles with a pace of 9 minutes 48, and I did it in 49 minutes and 50 seconds. It was supposed to be a fast run today, but my legs felt really heavy and it took me a while to settle in. I decided I was going to tackle the hill that's in my local area. I always avoid it because I hate running up hills and it beat me. I was so out of breath by the time I got up to the top. I thought, I need to do this more. I cannot keep putting it off. So why make it hard when I could be practicing to do it? It's just stupid. We shouldn't avoid the things we're weak at. We should practice those harder. So I'm going to take that into next week and I'm going to practice those hills. I've always focused my runs on distance rather than speed. Speed has never been a thing for me. I've never been bothered whether I achieve a sub 2 hours in a half marathon or not. It's, if I do it, great, but I've never set out to try and do it. Do you know what I mean? But I think now that I know I can do the distance, I need to start having something else to focus on. So that is going to be my goal for this race. Then on Friday, I was supposed to be, I should probably mention here, I was supposed to be doing a 10k on Sunday, and I'd planned that I was going to try and go for a personal best on my 10k because I haven't actually done a 10k race for years. So my PB for that is almost an hour exactly. And I wanted to see if I could do better than that, obviously, because it's been a couple of years. I don't actually know. I never really go out and do a specific training run that's exactly 10k to compare it to. So a bit of a race simulation, I suppose you could say, except for all the problems that you get with no road closures. So lots of traffic and having to wait around cross roads, and yeah, it wasn't as much of a race simulation as I would hope, but there we go, I did it. So the night before I planned the route, I thought I'd make sure it was more accurate, and planned it on Strava, which is a great way of planning routes. If you know you need to do an 8-mile run at the weekend, I strongly recommend giving it a go. You have to go on the PC, which is the only downside to it. You can't do it from your phone. Which I think is why I never really plan it. But yeah, I'm glad I did, because it meant that I knew that I was going to be running 10k and I wouldn't have to try and run around the houses a few blocks just to try and make up the distance. I always start off quite slow, or not slow, but like my 10-minute mile pace, which probably isn't such a bad thing. But it's frustrating because I know if I set off at the same pace throughout the whole race, obviously I could do a lot better, but I can't. I don't find my watch very accurate either, because it doesn't seem to tally with how I feel. So I could be running a 10-minute mile pace according to my watch, but feel like I'm running an 8.5-minute mile, because when I look back and see my breakdown of my segments and my mileage, I'm like, wow, I was running a lot quicker than my watch was telling me. So it's a bit frustrating. It's very slow. So I managed to pick up the pace. If I was going to, knew if I wanted to achieve a PB, I was going to have to go a bit quicker. So I managed to speed up a bit and make some good time. I've found I prefer running cross country more than I do on the road. I don't know if it's just a bit, you're distracted when you're running by the road with all the cars and everyone going past, and when I'm out running through a forest I feel a lot more at ease, and the running comes more naturally and I feel more comfortable, my breathing feels more comfortable. So yeah, I'm going to try and set more runs based where there's less traffic, I think, from now on. I decided I wasn't going to avoid the hill, because I thought if I'm going to get a true 10k PB, I want it to have a hill in it, because most races usually do have a few, especially the ones I always pick. So I took on the hill. I did manage to get up there. I was so out of breath though. I really need to keep practicing on that hill, but I achieved it, so that was great. Yeah, so now I've set a new PB for my 10k. So it was just over 1 hour, and now it's 57 minutes and 13 seconds. So quite a bit under an hour. I'm quite happy with that. While I was in the zone, I thought, oh, I haven't done a park run on my own without the kids for a long time. I started off at the front of the pack and kind of tried to keep the pace of everyone that was running at the front. I did ease off a little bit because I was getting a bit breathless. It was really tough. I didn't at one point try and stop myself from backing down from my pace, so I set off at the pace that I finished at, which was probably a new thing for me. Could I have continued running that fast for much more than 3 miles? I don't think so. But I know I can do it. I just need to keep practicing it. So yeah, anyway, I managed to do, so it's 3.1 miles, a park run, and I managed to do it in 26 minutes and 26 seconds. The only gutting thing about that is Chris has still got a better PB than me. This is just not humanly possible. He has done half as much running as me in his time. So it's just fueling me to want to do that little bit better. But I have got it out of my system now. And through the summer, I'm just going to focus on running with the girls because Ellie is so desperate to get this 35-minute park run PB. So I'm going to run with Ellie from now on for the next 6 weeks while they're on summer holidays and help her to achieve that. They've been going to the junior park run on a Sunday as well, and they're doing amazingly in that. So maybe she'll just start to focus on that and pick up her speed in there. She managed to knock off 2 minutes from her first junior park run that she'd done previously. So I think I've got a little runner in the making. I'm hoping so anyway. So one of the other great things I wanted to mention about Strava is that at the end of each run, probably like most running apps, you get a breakdown of how fast you did each mile, but also you get little medals and awards for segments if you've achieved personal records, which I managed to achieve quite a few when I did my 10k on Friday. It's always really motivating, but also you can join little challenges and you can join other groups. So I joined a challenge to run a 10k in July, which obviously I did on Friday, and those little things just keep you motivated. It's something to aim for in that month. And joining other people, other groups, and trying to get yourself up the leaderboard for how many miles you can run in a week and how quick your fastest mile is and things like that. So yeah, I like using that. Yeah, so the focus for next week for me is definitely going to be on my diet. I eat majority of the time quite well, but slowly the treats are sneaking back into my diet. Especially at night time, I just find myself snacking. I think it's because I sit up so late and I need to start making myself go to bed early. So maybe that's another thing to factor in. Sleep and diet. So yeah, my runs for next week will be, well, today I'm having a rest day. Tomorrow, Tuesday, I will do an easy 3-mile run, which I'll probably do on the hill. So I'm going to do a mile warm up and then some hill sprints and then a mile gentle jog back. Wednesday, 5 miles. Thursday will be a rest day. Friday I'll do some strength training. Saturday park run, and then Sunday a route that I'm going to plan on Strava. It's last week with the girls being at school, so I think my training is going to be really squished in for the next 6 weeks. So I really want to make this week make sure I get all the runs in. So yeah, that's it. Until next week, bye.